welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark. And today I have a couple things I wanted to talk about that have been kind of on my chest recently, and they are just things that have been bothering me, that I've been seeing going around. And I think people just have a very negative mindset ever since these new fees and the fee structure has changed on Poshmark. And so I just kind of wanted to make a video and talk about a couple things that I really wanted to, get off my chest and talk about, and hopefully some of you can understand, and maybe some of you feel the exact same way that I feel. If that is something that is interesting to you, definitely keep watching and make sure that you're subscribed so you never miss a future video that I do here on this channel. Okay, so like I mentioned, ever since the new fee structure has come out on Poshmark, a lot of people have been feeling really down about the app, and they've been, thinking that their sales are slowing, and, buyers are not wanting to purchase anymore, and people are wanting to quit the platform, and I don't know, people are just complaining about basically everything, and I feel like everyone just has a very, very negative mindset, and I honestly have not really seen that much of a difference in my sales personally. I'm still making sales consistently. Yes, I'm not really getting those buy now sales like I used to, but I'm still getting sales. And so personally, I'm not seeing that much of a difference, but I know a lot of people are, and everyone just feels so down and, stressed about how their sales have slowed. They don't know what to do. And so, I've been taking the approach of, if I could just sell some things that have been sitting for a very long time, then I'm happy with that. And so I've been selling things on the cheaper side, and I've seen a lot of comments where people are saying like, oh, you only sell things for $4, or oh, how do you make a profit when you sell things for $3, or different things like that. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that in this video because I feel like a lot of people don't actually understand, and I don't feel like I need to justify it, but I just want people to understand so they stop asking, because I get a lot of comments asking how I make a profit. And so I just wanted to talk about that in this video and kind of discuss exactly why and how, I make a profit on those items, and maybe you could too if this is an option for you. So for me, I actually get a lot of my inventory for free. I got a lot of donations from family and friends, from my own closet and things like that. So right there, I don't pay for a lot of my inventory, and then a lot of inventory I actually get at the Goodwill bins or the Goodwill for Dollar Day. So all my inventory costs between $0 and $1 per item. So for me, my costs are already very low, and so right off the bat, if I'm selling something for $3, I'm making at least $1 on it. And again, when you do live shows and people bundle things, you don't just make $1. You make, $3 on each piece. So $3 plus $3 for say 2 pieces ends up actually being $4 in profit. And it keeps going up from there. So I actually heavily rely on people to bundle things, and most of the time they do. Most people don't just buy one piece. So for me, it's actually not that bad if I, have someone bundle a bunch of pieces. And the other day I actually had someone bundle, like, I don't even know, like 10 pieces or something. And so I was actually able to make a lot of money on that sale. And I know I didn't pay that much for the total of those pieces. So right away I was already making a profit. And the next thing to remember is I don't actually go sourcing every week or month or anything like that. I actually haven't been sourcing since probably middle summer or even before that. So for me, my actual costs for this month are $0 because I actually haven't bought anything. So right off the bat, I'm already making a profit regardless. So I think that's also something that a lot of people forget, is they just think, oh, well, there's no way to make a profit if you're selling things that cheap. But there is if I'm not buying inventory, if I'm getting all of it for free, or if I'm still listing stuff that I bought a while ago. So that's also another thing to remember and consider. Now, I know not everyone gets their inventory that cheap, so maybe to them, selling things for that cheap would not work that well, but most of the pieces that I do sell for that price are things that either have been sitting for a long time or that are not valued at a high cost. And I think people also forget that those are not only the sales that I'm making, I'm also making other sales in my closet. Just a couple days ago, I actually sold something for $45 that, again, I did not pay for. I actually had gotten it for free. And, so not every sale is small. And I think people just kind of like quickly look and say, oh, you're only selling things for $3. Like, there's no way you're making a profit. But they're not paying attention to those other sales of those bigger pieces that I'm selling. I also just don't enjoy when people ask me, and care so much about my business. I mean, I understand if you're trying to learn, but I just get to the point where I feel like people are are just, plain being rude and just saying, "Oh, well, you're not smart with your business if you're selling things that cheap." And like, who are you to tell me how to do my own business? And if I'm making a profit, then, why would I stop? And like, I wouldn't continue doing it if I wasn't making a profit. And I honestly think I'm making more of a profit than a lot of people who aren't selling anything at all. And again, there are a lot of pieces that have been sitting for so long that like I'm just really happy to get rid of, even if it's at a cheaper price. So like I just feel like when people ask things and they just, think that they know the answers, it just really does frustrate me. I think it's important to realize that everyone has a different business structure and different things work for different people. When I first started reselling, I was actually thrifting pieces for quite an expensive price. I think on average they were about $8 a piece, and obviously selling them for $3 would not work back then. But I actually have a lot of pieces from that time frame that I was not able to sell. And so for me, I realized that I couldn't source things that expensive. And so I had to start getting things cheaper. And so when I found the Goodwill bins and when I found Dollar Day, those were like the best options for me because I found that I could make the most profit on them. And some of them are not going to sell as high as others, but I don't look at it as, oh, I have to make a certain amount on every item to be, to be happy about it. I just make sure I'm making a profit overall because some pieces are not going to sell as well as you thought. Maybe you missed a flaw on a piece, or maybe the size didn't sell as well as you thought, or maybe the brand wasn't as good as you thought. So not every piece is treated equally to me. I generally think as long as I'm making a profit, it doesn't really matter how much of a profit. And again, I know that some pieces are not going to sell really well compared to others. And I know especially now during these slower times where, the fees are high, people don't want to pay a lot of money. So you also have to take that into consideration that like you're not going to get those crazy full price sales like you used to get as much now. So like I'm just happy if I sell things, and I have had very consistent sales. So for me, whatever I'm doing is working. And so I just get really frustrated when I see a lot of people say like, oh, how are you making any money? How are you making any sales? My sales are just as good as they were prior, and the number of actual like revenue that I'm earning from those sales is just as good as a normal month where I'm not selling things for this amount. I know a lot of other people kind of probably feel the same way, where they're like, stop asking me, how I sell things that cheap. Like it's not your business. You can choose to run your business how you want. And this is just something that like has been really bothering me for a long time, and I've gotten so many questions over time where people have asked me, and they think, oh well, let me look at your closet, and then they look at my closet and then they see that I'm selling things for cheap, and they're like, oh well, you clearly don't know how to be a reseller because you're only selling things for $3. And that's not necessarily true. You're not looking at all the other sales that I've made, and I've sold things for quite a lot of money. I've actually sold one piece for $450 once. And so for me, I try and ignore those comments, but I do know that they still happen, and I know other people get them too. So I just want to kind of let you know that if you sell things for $3 or $4 or $5 each, you are justified. That is totally okay. You do you, and you run your business how you want. People should not control you, and they should not tell you how to run your business. So I hope this video is relatable to somebody out there who also feels the same way. And maybe if you don't feel the same way, and maybe if you've been curious how people sell things for that cheap and still make a profit, hopefully this kind of answered your questions and made it more clear, because you can definitely still make a profit on $3 per item, especially if they bundle. And like I said, most of the people do bundle a lot. I've had people bundle like 10 to 15 items at a time, and I've made like $50 off of one person in a live show because of doing that. And so there's definitely still ways to make a profit, and there's definitely still ways to make money. And hopefully this cleared up any confusion that anyone had on those, those lower sales. And instead of complaining about how the sales are slower and maybe, the buyers are not wanting to purchase as much anymore, just keep trying to send out offers. You're not going to be able to sell things like you were able to beforehand. You have to adjust, but you could still have success. And take it from me, I still have plenty of success with these slower fees, or with these fees. So you can too. Don't give up, keep going, and just keep pushing, and things will get better for all of us. I think once this new fee structure kind of like settles down a little bit and people kind of like forget about it and adjust, I think things will go back to a normal pace for us on Poshmark. It's just kind of an adjustment, and nobody likes change, so it's just kind of like we have to get used to it, and then everything will settle down again. If you want to see another video on different features that you should be using on Poshmark, you can click right here. And if you want to see a video on proven ways to make more sales on Poshmark, you can click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.